Hollywood leftists. These are the people who are supposed to love them, who are ripping these women to shreds. It's beautiful. It wasn't for commercial gain. It wasn't to promote Amazon. It wasn't with some woman with her tits hanging out who needed a little extra attention. Okay, so that's just first. There was nothing frivolous. I am like Alan Shepard, and I am inspirational.
Katy Perry is having a full-on meltdown after the ever-savage Megyn Kelly casually tore apart her space princess fantasy live on air.
This utterly vacuous experience from which they learned absolutely nothing.
This wasn't just a clapback, it was a full-on demolition job. And honestly, long overdue. Because let's be real, pretending an 11-minute celebrity space float is some kind of feminist revolution. Please, sit down.
We weren't just taking up space, we were making space.
There, it's dark. It's like death. And I'm so proud of us. I really am proud of me.
Flowers for me, I believe, are like God's laughter.
And if you're out of the loop, here's the tea. Our pretty little Katy Perry decided to throw on a spacesuit, probably designer, let's be honest, and hitch a ride on Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin rocket. It was all hyped up as this empowering, groundbreaking, history-making moment for womankind. At least that's the headline version, served with a generous sprinkle of glitter and hashtags like #GirlPowerFromSpace.
From Hollywood leftists, not just people like you and me, but like Hollywood leftists. These are the people who are supposed to love them, who are ripping these women to shreds. It's beautiful.
The actual trip, a grand total of 10 minutes spent floating around like luxury luggage in a capsule, snapping a few selfies, musing about daisies, and then landing back on Earth with the confidence of someone who thinks they just rewrote NASA's legacy. And somehow, we were all supposed to clap like trained seals because a handful of celebrities managed to hover slightly above the sky.
No one called that a
You're
ride.
Shepard.
It was called a flight. It was called a journey, because a ride implies that it's something frivolous or something that's lighthearted. There was nothing frivolous about what we did. And the machine that we were on, and what it took for the people to get that machine up and running.
But shocker, nobody clapped. Nobody bought the sparkle-wrapped nonsense. It wasn't an achievement. It wasn't even a solid Instagram moment. It was a PR stunt so hollow, it practically echoed in orbit. People weren't inspired. They were irritated.
So, I'm very disappointed, very saddened by it. And I also say this. What it's doing to inspire other women and young girls, please don't ignore that.
The whole thing screamed, let's play astronaut for content. Meanwhile, real women in STEM were just sitting there blinking like, wow, congrats on reaching the bare minimum of the Kármán line. Actual female astronauts are out here doing spacewalks and conducting real research, not hosting zero-gravity talk shows about how love feels different in orbit. And the roasts? Chef's kiss. Megyn Kelly, Joe Rogan, even Martha Stewart swooped in like the Avengers of sarcasm, except way more ruthless and way less forgiving.
I brought a daisy because I have so much love for my daughter Daisy, and I have so much love for Mother Earth.
It just says to me, if I can do this, I was telling these guys, I might even now get my ears pierced. I've never gotten my ears pierced.
Joe Rogan didn't even bother pretending to take it seriously. He sat there with Tim Dillon, side-eyeing Katy's Daisy speech like it was a drunk poetry slam at Coachella, her big cosmic revelation. That she felt a lot of love inside her and brought a daisy to space because symbolism or whatever. Joe didn't even have to raise his voice. He just blinked slowly and asked, so, what were her findings? Like a disappointed science teacher staring at a blank test.
I've had so many women and young girls reach out to me, and men too, by the way, that say, wow, I never thought I could do that, but I see you doing it at this stage of my life. Who would have thunk it? Not me. And how inspired they are.
And then he came for the flower. The poor Daisy got roasted harder than her music career post-2013. And don't even get me started on the nails. Yes, Katy Perry went to space with acrylics on. Because of course she did.
I hope they can see the unity that we modeled and replicate that and understand that we weren't just taking up space, we were making space.
Then came Megyn Kelly, who took one look at this floating circus and said, absolutely not. Her target? That cringe-worthy quote from Lauren Sanchez, "We're all in this together." Megyn dragged that line like it owed her money.
So much to go over. First of all, Alan Shepard walked on the moon, Gail. You did not fucking walk on the moon.
Because while they were floating in Bezos' shiny space dong, regular folks were struggling to afford eggs and gas in the same week. Megyn called out the delusion loud and clear, saying it was tone-deaf, arrogant, and about as relatable as a yacht ride.
Please don't call it a ride. That is not a friggin' ride. Whenever a man goes up, you have never said to an astronaut, boy, what a ride. You know, we duplicated the same trajectory that Alan Shepard did back in the day, pretty much.
Honestly, she nailed it. Pretending your luxury trip is some universal moment of sisterhood is like throwing a diaper bag into a crowd and calling it charity.
Democratic Party, right? It's all acting. It's all celebrity. It's all ostentatious wealth.
And just when you thought the roast train had reached its last stop, boom, Martha Stewart came out of nowhere with her passive-aggressive missile. She posted, then quickly deleted, a savage reminder that she did zero gravity back in 2007. No fanfare, no TED talk, just a float and a flex.
That's the reason it was fighting. It wasn't for commercial gain. It wasn't to promote Amazon. It wasn't with some woman with her tits hanging out who needed a little extra attention. Okay, so that's just first.
While Katy was literally kissing the ground like she'd just returned from a Mars mission, Martha reminded everyone that not only had it been done before, but it had been done better, quieter, and with way less cringe. Her post didn't need fireworks, just a calm, icy McDrop. And that deleted post, probably gone because it burned too clean.
Got it?
1, 2, 3.
Flynn, I got
With her Daisy?
I got you, Flynn.
Gotcha. Stuffed animals.
But here's the real kicker. How hard they tried to sell this as some feminist milestone. They acted like Katy's boots hit lunar soil, as if she were the first woman to ever step into a spaceship. Meanwhile, real women, actual astronauts, have been out here making scientific history for decades.
Moon! You guys, I have to tell you, look at the moon. That's amazing.
Wow, look at the blue line.
No glam squad, no designer jumpsuits, just brains, bravery, and way more hours in orbit than any of these space tourists could handle. But sure, let's pretend this was a revolution and not just a glorified influencer collab with Blue Origin.
Whoa, that's amazing.
I can't. I can't get over.
The problem wasn't that Katy flew, it's that she tried to turn it into a moment, a movement, a message. She acted like floating for 10 minutes in a capsule meant she'd unlock some universal truth about femininity and the cosmos, when really she just reminded everyone how far removed celebrities are from the rest of us. It didn't feel empowering. It felt like a reminder that there are two worlds, the one we live in, and the one where a daisy becomes a space relic.
I am like Alan Shepard, and I am inspirational. I'm proud of me. Good for me. That's the messaging coming back.
Right? It's so amazing. Like, they went to see space.
It wasn't just the rocket that exploded, it was the narrative. The one where Katy Perry and her orbiting entourage were supposed to represent some grand vision of feminist progress. But for every glossy headline and staged photo, there were 10 eye rolls from the public and a growing chorus from women, actual women, who saw right through it.
They admired the universe, and what they were expecting was for us to admire the fact that they were rich enough and famous enough to have been granted this utterly vacuous experience from which they learned absolutely nothing.
Jessica Chastain didn't say much herself, but what she did say was louder than any statement Katy made post-launch. On March 30th, she reposted an op-ed from The Guardian that flat out called the Blue Origins stunt the utter defeat of American feminism. No hashtags, no fluff, just a link. And that link did what Perry's floating flower metaphors couldn't. It hit home.
I mean, this was exactly what Kamala Harris's entire campaign was like. Look at us, we're very wealthy. Don't we look great? Admire us.
The piece Chastain shared wasn't just a critique, it was a scalpel. It dismantled the mission's supposed message of empowerment and held up a mirror to what it really was, a glam-fueled influencer launch, complete with lashes, lipstick, and legacy connections. Not one mention of science, not one technical contribution.
They're not friends with Jeff Bezos, right? Like, the whole thing is a farce. Their message for women was take up space, like us. Like, the reception they got was like the right corrective. You guys are taking up too much space already. Like, what are you offering? Where is the service?
Just a parade of styled women treating a billionaire's rocket like a red carpet. But the author didn't just take issue with the aesthetics, though those were front and center. She highlighted how the obsession with flawless beauty in a space setting sent the message that women still need to look picture perfect, even 55 miles above the ground. A mission supposedly meant to make space for women ended up reinforcing the same tired expectation. Look beautiful, smile, and let the rich men drive.
Where is the
Yeah.
sense that we owe something to the society vis-a-vis the universe? Like, the most banal, like totally, like, really, you went to space, that's what you came back with?